Like a rock, Apple's iPhone 18 Pro Max will be the toughest phone ever. If you think the present iPhones are too big and heavy, just wait. It will be worse. Reports say that Apple plans for the next iteration of its biggest phone to be Pro in name and weight. The Chinese leaker, who goes by the name Instant Digital, says that the next iPhone 18 Pro Max will be the toughest iPhone ever, even though it has the same screen size as the current model. Best Smartphone Resources leaker and believes that Apple will remain at the 69 panel, but the body of the phone will be somewhat thicker than the iPhone 17 Pro Max, which should bring its weight to roughly 243 grams. That's roughly 10 grams more than the current generation and even 3 grams more than the previous record holder, which is iPhone 14 Pro Max. Interestingly, in recent years, the weight of the Pro models has max changed rather dramatically. While the titanium build of the iPhone 15 Pro Max helped reduce weight to 221 grams, later switched to aluminum for iPhone 17 Pro Max, he opted again to 233 grams. Apple allegedly intended to balance the ratio between durability and lower material density, however, according to leaker, and now they're pushing for a more durable design again, possibly due to a larger battery and a new cooling system with a stainless steel vapor chamber. In addition, the phone should also include cameras with very wider aperture and a new 3-layer sensor from Samsung, which should significantly improve the quality of photographs in low light. It is reported that the adjustments will also dynamic island and partly the system face ID, so it's probable that the weight rise is the consequence of a succession of tiny design changes, not just one. Whatever the cause, it won't delight opponents of hefty phones. Best smartphone. An incredible-looking game from the PS Horizon series is coming to iPhones. Will you play it? Speculation has been confirmed, and Sony and Korean company NCSoft have formally unveiled Horizon Steel Frontiers, a gigantic morgue set in the post-apocalyptic universe of the Horizon series. The new game will be available for free on PC, iOS, and Android, and according to the more than 10-minute presentation, it will offer both cooperative and competitive activities in an open universe. Players will take on the role of machine hunters who explore a territory called the Deathlands, inspired by Arizona and New Mexico. According to Jan Bart van Beek of Guerrilla Games, the planet will be populated by thousands of gamers who can cooperate to hunt artificial monsters, or, alternatively, fight between tribes for resources and territory. 2. Apple is apparently contemplating its largest ever overhaul to its iPhone. This change applies to both the flagship goods themselves and their conventional release timetable, Bloomberg News' Mark Gurman said in a report Sunday. According to the report, Apple wants to unveil a trio of high-end models, the iPhone 18 Pro, iPhone 18 Pro Max, and a new foldable next fall. 6 months or so later, the business will debut the iPhone 18, iPhone 18e, and potentially an improved iPhone Air. Gurman said he expects this pattern to occur for years to come, with Apple bringing out 5 and 6 new models every year. He also said the iPhone Air is essentially a technology exercise and a prototype en route to the foldable iPhone, as it will use much of the same components and technology. It is less about getting people used to slimmer smartphones than reading Apple's supply chain. Meanwhile, the report stated Apple is modifying its release timeline. In recent years, the company has debuted 4 main iPhones in the fall, with a lesser-cost SE or E model being offered in the earlier part of the year. Starting next year, Gurman said, Apple would cease compressing so many releases into the fall, letting it to enjoy steadier revenue throughout the year and place less strain on workers and suppliers. Apple's market capitalization crossed the $4 trillion milestone last month, propelled in part by stronger than anticipated demand for the new iPhone 17. It became the third public business to reach that milestone, following Nvidia and Microsoft, both of which attained it in July. The business has unveiled a program that halves the regular 30% fee it gets from app developers on in-app sales for a category of software termed mini apps. This program provides producers of micro-applications, which operate inside other standalone apps rather than as separate downloads, a lower commission rate of 15% in exchange for using Apple's tech to design their apps. This could change how people use their phones, Pence stated. Instead of having multiple apps scattered across the phone, users might have just a few traditional apps that include many mini apps. This can make phones less cluttered and provide users more functions in fewer places. 2. Apple Bloomberg reveals what's actually going on with the iPhone Air 2 and discusses iPhone 18 debut. As on most Sundays, Bloomberg's chief analyst Mark Gurman examines new Apple products and mostly focuses on the next iPhone generation this time around. For the first time, the phones might come in two waves, and despite many pretty dismal reports, the lineup will once again feature an iPhone Air, although likely not in the form several previous leaks have suggested. The iPhone Air did not break the bad trend of the iPhone Mini and iPhone Plus models and has not been a huge commercial success, according to several sources from the past few weeks. However, Bloomberg's Apple analyst Mark Gurman sees the thinnest iPhone ever mainly as a trial run for the iPhone Fold, which is scheduled to come in 2026 alongside the iPhone 18 Pro and iPhone 18 Pro Max, and will rely on many of these technologies and components. Gurman feels the iPhone Air is highly significant for Apple's supply chain, and that poor sales statistics are merely a minor problem. This also explains why the handset was not priced particularly aggressively compared to the iPhone 17 Pro. Moreover, Gurman disputes claims that a successor could get a twin camera. According to his information, the major change of the iPhone Air 2 will be the more efficient Apple A20 chipset that's constructed on the 2nm technology and should result in longer battery life. The expert does not expect a twin camera on the Air until it can be incorporated from the iPhone Fold. Once again, Gurman reiterates that we will see the iPhone 18 launch in two phases. The first one features the iPhone 18 Pro, iPhone 18 Pro Max, and iPhone 18 Fold, all of which are slated to launch as usual in September 2026. The second wave comprises the iPhone 18, iPhone 18e, and iPhone Air 2, which will follow later in spring 2027. The fact that Apple did not name the iPhone Air the iPhone 17 Air offers the corporation greater latitude to release a successor on a different schedule, and the second generation likely might enter the market 1.5 years after the original. Gurman notes that this wasn't driven by disappointing sales numbers and was planned right from the outset. This staggered iPhone introduction is predicted to continue for several years, including the anniversary year 2027, which is when the revamped iPhone, possibly titled iPhone 20, with curved glass and an under-display camera, is expected to emerge. Next year's iPhone 18 Pro Max might convince you to skip Samsung for its battery. Apple will reportedly make the iPhone 18 Pro Max thicker than the iPhone 17 Pro Max, perhaps for the same reason that the iPhone 17 Pro was thicker than the iPhone 16 Pro. Recently, Apple and Samsung have begun diverging in how they approach their flagship handsets. While the Galaxy S25 Ultra once again shrunk down compared to its predecessor, the iPhone 17 Pro was substantially thicker than the iPhone 16 Pro. Apple will apparently, translation source, continue this pattern next year with the iPhone 18 Pro Max, possibly seeking to squeeze in an even bigger battery than the one found inside the iPhone 17 Pro Max. Apple is purportedly intending to make the iPhone 18 Pro Max thicker than the iPhone 17 Pro Max. With the iPhone 17 Pro models, this was done so that the phones could have larger batteries than the iPhone 16 Pro models. Apple will be doing the same with the iPhone 18 Pro models for probably the same reason. It seems as if Apple wants to make the iPhone Air the default iPhone model for the average user. The iPhone 17 Pro improved upon the iPhone 16 Pro in a lot of areas, but at the cost of a weaker chassis and a divisive redesign, as well as no option to order it in black. If the next iPhone Air model has a greater battery capacity, then the iPhone Air will very quickly become just as popular as the MacBook Air, in my opinion. This enables Apple keep experimenting with the Pro models, like making them thicker and heavier for better and bigger batteries. What Apple is doing is what I hope Samsung would do too. The Galaxy flagships have been relying on the same 5000 mAh battery for way too long, to the point where the iPhone 17 Pro actually overtook Samsung's phones this year. Samsung is, sadly, still preoccupied with making its Ultra phones as thin as possible. And with the expected cancellation of the S26 Edge, that will likely continue with the S26 Ultra. In my perspective, cell phones are small enough already. If phone manufacturers want to build the slimmest phones possible, they should do that with dedicated models like the Air and the Edge, while making their top-of-the-line models genuinely the best that they can. So, if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more exciting tech news and updates. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.